Brussels today to talk about the European Turkish Trade and Investment Council, ETTIC for short. Now I'm here with Markus Slevogt, who is the chairman of the organisation. And first of all, welcome to Brussels. And I'd very much like it if you could tell us a little bit about your organisation initially. You know, where does it come from? Where did the idea of ETTIC come from? And what is the strategy? What is your strategy?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm very happy to outline a little bit from where we came as we were or are chamber presidents of different bilateral chambers in Turkey of European origin, meaning that we have bilateral chambers that are representing the bilateral interests of different countries vis-à-vis Turkey and the respective businesses. And we understood when we also traveled to Brussels in those particular roads that it was always difficult both for the Turkish side and also for the European side to understand each other perfectly from the business front. There was always a large degree of asymmetry of information distribution. And we wanted to make sure that maybe this distribution is balanced. And for that purpose, we thought it is better that we have a chance, because that's what we realized going forward, that always as a bilateral chamber you have the difficulty just to go through your own country and then reaching out to the European Union. We wanted to make sure that all our chamber members' interests, all the bilateral chamber members' interests, are consolidated and then adequately presented in Brussels directly with the European Union and with its relevant institutions for the promotion of trade and investments, and particularly also for an advancement on the discussions and on the development of a further upgrade and modernization of the customs union between Turkey and the European Union, because that is very much instrumental for all the European businesses in Turkey, because Europe and its companies have invested substantially over the course of the last 20 years in Turkey, and the total number is more than 200 billion euros that had been invested over the course of the last 20 years. And also the bilateral trade between Turkey and the European Union countries is per annum bigger than 200 million euros. And that means we are talking about a very, very substantial amount of business and trade. And we are still operating on the basis of the 1996 version of the customs union, which does not provide enough space for other aspects of modern business activities like services, e-commerce. Also agriculture plays an important role, and also public procurement. To widen that, to ensure that more business is done between Europe and Turkey, and to give ample opportunity to the businesses on both sides, we thought it's important that we are consolidating and that we are meeting the interests of our target group. The target group is the membership base from all these chambers, and the value added is that we are helping to make sure that this target group is heard here at the center, at the heart of the European Union, and that we are taking matters in our own hands to make sure that both parties understand each other better. And for that we are very well equipped, as we have substantial experience in the board of this organization with chamber presidents that have done these affairs already for many years, and bringing that together on a European basis brings us much forward.
Okay. Livio Manzini, Honorary Chairman of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Turkey. Again, welcome to Brussels. It's very nice to meet you here. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the customs union. Markus touched upon this. How does ETTIC plan to modernise the customs union? That's quite an ambitious objective. But so what sort of specific challenges and opportunities do you foresee at this particular moment?
Well, again, it's a pleasure to be in Brussels. Thank you for your interest. Of course, as Markus touched upon, the whole commercial relation between Turkey and the EU is based on a treaty, a trade agreement, customs union, but it's a trade agreement, which was signed in 1995. So next year it will be 30 years old. So it was at a time when there was basically no internet, no mobile phones, no e-commerce, and so on. So clearly it is now inadequate for the, let's say, even the size of the commerce. The EU has grown. The EU, in the meantime, and Turkey have signed other free trade agreements with other regions in the world. So there is also a mismatch between what this one contains and the further agreements that were signed. So we have set ourselves maybe a lofty goal, but at the same time, a very necessary one. Now, you may actually ask, why hasn't this already happened? Why is there a need for ETTIC? Now, the free trade agreement was supposed, the customs union, initially was supposed to be a kind of temporary measure, stepping stone, on the road to full membership for Turkey. And Turkey is currently, officially, a candidate member for the European Union. That process, which is clearly a political one, and it does have all the technical part of it, but at the end of the day is a political one, currently is blocked. And what we want to do, and the way we want to proceed, is to show to both sides that this commercial opportunity should not be, in a sense, held hostage to politics. They can progress on two different tracks, because this is really a win-win. Impact assessment studies have been made and have been presented to the Commission by DG Trade as well, quite recently. And I think everybody agrees that a modernized and enlarged customs union would add a few points of GDP to both the EU and Turkey. So both sides need each other. There is an opportunity here. So our role is really to try to decouple the political track from the commercial track. And we do this by proving to the Commission, Parliament, that European business is actually losing out. What is necessary? Actually, it's in reality quite simple. Right now, the European Parliament has already given the green light for the Commission to start negotiating an enlarged customs union. The Council needs to give the mandate to the Commission. So there is this political will. And in our view, it should be started without any preconditions. The European Parliament has actually also said that it can start without preconditions, but it cannot complete unless a certain number of conditions are fulfilled in the meantime. So the whole trick is to get the process started. And maybe we can be the trigger, let's say.
I've got a kind of a supplementary question on that.
Yeah.
Yes, so. You're absolutely correct that the customs union does need reform. There's a fairly widespread consensus on that. Were this to happen, and the problem here is that the EU institutions do move very slowly, as you're aware, but this reform would not only benefit Turkey and the EU, but this would benefit many other countries as well, who are looking to increase their engagement commercially, business-wise, with the EU, something that the EU itself also desperately needs.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, Turkey now has a very large manufacturing base and is integrated in the supply chains of the EU. Now, these supply chains need to be brought closer. And in particular, the words nearshoring, friendshoring are more and more used these days, which means bringing them closer from the Far East. And when you look at that, Turkey is a natural, let's say, place because it does have the infrastructure. It does have, now manufacturing in Turkey also has the size, let's say, to accommodate additional needs. And therefore, it's a good base where to do more manufacturing and bringing closer to the Far East. This, of course, can have an impact to Europe. And then there is, on the other side, Europe can use Turkey as a hub for a wider area. In particular, these days, clearly Africa is considered the next frontier. And using Turkey to enlarge business in Africa for EU companies would be also a, quite an opportunity.
Also with us here today is Tuğrul Şeremet, who is the president of the Belgian-Luxembourg Chamber of Commerce in Turkey. Welcome to Brussels.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to ask you a simple question, actually. It's about ETTIC, and what is ETTIC doing to align, through your advocacy, to align the interests of both European and Turkish stakeholders?
As you know, in our members setup, we have equally European and Turkish company in our bilateral chambers in Turkey. Some of these chambers are almost had 2 centennials active in Turkey field. So the base members is big manufacturers from Europe and also from the Turkish side. So we are standing in a neutral position because at the end of the day, any benefit has been reached out on the modernization of the custom union will help to all companies. There's a confusion sometimes that either ETTIC represent one side. No, that's not correct. We are representing both sides. If you look at the trade between Turkey and the EU, over the last year it goes above the ASEAN countries in total, and we have a 220 billion euro investment by European companies in Turkey. So that's a very important manner also for the European nations, citizens, to enjoy a nearshoring and at the end of the day receiving their goods much faster on the shelves in the cities. So this is not a question of either from the Turkey side or from the European side, it's a mutual side. There are some confusions time to time. We are also clarifying these points in our meetings within the Commission, with the members, with the companies. We are clarifying the utmost goal is to create a much faster modernization reach of the custom union, and therefore there will be an equally benefiting. So any attempts to put ETTIC one side, that's not true. There is quite a 50-50 equilibrium there, but at the end, if our goals has been reached, then there will be a mutual benefit for European companies and the Turkish companies.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we've learned today about ETTIC, about its strategy, about its program a little bit, and also in the current context, I think that this initiative is going to be very well received here, because there is a very, very strong feeling that Turkey needs to be brought closer.
Yes.
In terms of a business and economy, and as we all know, good trading makes good friends.
That's the goal. Thank you.
Good to meet you.